Welcome back to another episode of the Blitz Break. I'm your host, Phil Rasmussen, back for another Friday here. And as always, joined by our crew here, Mr. Buzz Howard, Mr. Justin Ingolia, and our resident social media and networking expert, Julie Shroyer.
Glad to be here. I haven't been here for a while.
Missed you last week.
Yes.
Did you notice how you're the expert? Buzz and I are.
Yeah, we're just, we got these two dudes from the office.
Well,
these guys.
Hey, she comes prepared with a pro tip every week. That's what gets her the
right.
The expert nod.
Yeah, the expert nod. Hey, talk about preparation, right?
Proud of you.
So, and today our guest, as we get jumping right in here, is both a client of ours and a valued member with our Give Value program, and a longtime expert in the remodeling and kitchen and bath industry. So, Steve Vasquez, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
We were just talking beforehand. You've been in this since 1992.
92, yeah. Started as a helper and then proceeded to stone slabs and then just kept moving from there.
92.
1992. So obviously you started out. When did you start? Now your company's name is S&D Custom Stone and Tile.
Yes.
When did you start that?
2008.
2008. So a while.
Yeah.
A while now. So what's the S? You got to tell us.
What's S&D?
How'd you come up with the with the name?
Yeah, 2 kids. I was working 2 jobs. I had a graveyard job, get off at 7, then I'd go to my shop and stay there till 5 or 6 and show up back to graveyard at 10. I did that for about 10 years till I crashed and burned on the other one and got back into this full time.
Yeah.
Right.
So the S&D is initials
For my boys. You know,
Yeah.
I was driven by greed, and Stevie and Donald had to support their motorcycle habits and camp and boating. We had a lot of hobbies.
Hobbies cost money.
And I'll
do.
kind of throw in here, Steve and I have been friends for a long time. I can't even remember how long. We started, hanging out together, boating.
Yes.
And that kind of grew from there. You've done, I think you've done the granite on at least one of my rentals.
Yep.
And I helped you with financing your house.
Yeah. The project I thought wouldn't make it.
We worked hard on that.
We very hard. You guys did an awesome job.
It was great, and it's a great house.
Yeah.
It's such a cool house. It's over in Arden Arcade, right?
Yeah. Right behind
That's my
golf
neighborhood.
course.
And he's right along the golf course.
Oh, okay.
And
Right over there by Del Paso?
Right, we're on the 14th hole.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So every time I come over, he's redone another, area, the bathrooms, the kitchen.
Yes.
So yeah, you've been doing a lot even on your own house.
Yeah. 2 bathrooms ago, we put a pool in, but it's was well worth the investment and the stress of getting into that loan.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I'd call all panicked, and he'd be like, calm down. Got it.
Calm down, buddy. I have you. I've got you. Just sign here and sign there. So, but yeah, we've been friends for a long time, boating friends.
Yeah.
This whole thing. Tell us about, what I find really cool about what you do is you actually go to Italy.
Yeah, I've been to Italy.
And to the where they cut the granite,
the quarries.
the quarries,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
You
we've been
got
out to Italy.
to go on a helicopter and
Yep.
tell us about that.
Yeah, I really want to know
I don't
about
want to hear
that.
from Buzz.
My first helicopter ride in Italy, we showed up, and they're all competing as to who can give you the best show. So they pick us up in a helicopter, and they drive us to the top of Hendrix. It's a marble quarry, so they land us on top of the marble quarry, and I'm just completely like a little kid,
yeah.
at Christmas. It was some of the coolest stuff you've ever seen.
That's incredible.
And so, you're seeing the big slabs cut at the quarry.
Yeah, I got about a bunch of video on my Instagram and stuff showing when you're standing in there and you're looking up. When you get the elite of the people, they get to pick the specific rocks they want, have them cut out and brought down. For us normal people, we get, as the material is processed, we get that stuff.
Wow.
Interesting.
So
Where would you go to look at these samples if I wanted to?
In the quarries?
Or no, here.
Your stuff.
Oh, so there's some really good suppliers we use. We use Pacific Shores, and my buddy's opening up a stone shop today. It's called Galleria of Stone out in West Sacramento. Anatoli's supplying all the material. It's super, super beautiful material. I mean, stuff you don't see around a lot of these other suppliers.
So if someone came to you and you're going to do, let's say, their kitchen, and you would send them to these guys to see the slabs,
yes,
and they could pick it out.
hand select.
Okay.
And everything, once we get to that process, everything is a digital measuring, digital rendering, digital approvals. All of our machinery now is all CAD operated. So I got a team of 4 guys that do all the CAD programming. I am just the initial meet and greet, measure, and then my team takes care of it from there.
So this CAD program that you're talking about, computer program, you came out to my boat, and with your computer and lasers and all of that, and we still haven't finalized the bathroom counters.
Piece has been on the A-frame for about a year.
I know. We need to finish it, but he sets up a computer. Tell us about that, and because the lasers do everything.
Yeah, it's all digital templating now, so we'll set up a pod. It's all done with remote control, so we'll stand back and use remote control and shoot exactly what we want. And then let's say it had some sort of pattern. We'll send that to you for approvals before we actually process anything.
So then do you scan? So you're scanning the location for like the stone,
Yes.
and then you're going to be scanning the stone too. So then you're seeing where like seams are lining up, or
Correct.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's really a great process now. There's no more guessing or estimation, and customers are happy when we walk through the door because they're getting exactly what they
Yeah,
want.
they know what's coming.
Yes.
It's not like, wait, where's that giant vein running through the middle when I didn't expect it? I get it.
Well, and I'd be curious, like the trends in home ownership and remodels and what's in fashion, what's not. What's the most frequently selected material right now? I mean, quartz, granite, marble. Like, what are you seeing?
At least for us, last year quartz was super duper popular. This year starting, we're about a 50% natural stone. People are starting to shift back into marbles, lots of quartzites, and that's where we kind of pass the rest of the people. Everybody's really good at the smaller stuff. When you get into natural stone, your team has to be ready and have to understand what they're dealing with. Whole different animal from quartz to a natural stone.
What's the biggest difference
Process.
between the two, process-wise, for you guys?
Just you get natural stone will fall apart if you're not processing right, and your team doesn't understand all the processes. So, but I'm a natural stone guy by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, is it more the aesthetics that people are enjoying more with the natural stone, or is it durability?
Like
What is
function.
it? Yeah.
The look. I mean, natural stone is, if you imagine, it's been in the ground for endless time, and now we're just taking it, polishing it out. So it can be repaired, it can be patched. I mean, there's nothing you can't do with natural stone that man-made stuff just can't compare to, in my personal opinion.
I agree. I love it.
Is the cost a lot more?
No, but some of that quartz material is pretty expensive. The quartzites, some of the natural marbles are really, really expensive, but overall it stays about the same depending on what you're trying to do.
Interesting.
Now, I've always heard marble is a softer stone, as much as you can say a stone is soft, but it's a lot more porous, right? And so you have to be careful on how you seal and deal with marble.
It'll still etch, even with sealers. It'll
Okay.
etch. They have top coatings we're certified in to put actually, it's like a glaze or a clear coat of paint or whatever you want to call it, but that actually protects the stone. I'm not really into it. I'm more so just keep it
You want it
clean, keep
natural.
sealed, and let it patina as it does. That's what it's supposed to do. It's a natural stone.
My man, I like you. I agree 100%. I don't want a glossy finish. I want it to be natural. You want it to be that satin almost.
Correct.
Yeah. And let the oils from everything. It does. It patinas. It looks beautiful.
What's the difference? Like soapstone, I hear people talk about they're doing soapstone now. Is that what is soapstone?
We haven't done soapstone in a couple of years.
Oh,
It was
really?
the big fad a while ago, and I haven't done a lot of it in the last 7 to 10 years.
Is it the look that people that people have gone away from, or is it just the stone
I don't
quality?
know if it was the look. I think
Okay.
it's just something that was a fad.
Yeah, sure.
Came in and went out, but we haven't used a lot of it, so I really don't have a lot of experience on the pluses or minus on soapstone specifically.
Is there any like exotic materials that you guys have dealt with, like onyx or things like that?
Yeah, we
that
do a
people-
lot of onyx. We do a lot of backlighting where we'll actually put the lighting
Yeah,
up. And
that's
then
cool.
You know, the light comes through, glows all the material, really shows out the beauty of the stone and everything. To make everybody happy, basically.
Yeah, the backlighting is
Yeah.
cool. I like watching. I watch all the high end YouTube there where they go and they look at these like 20, 30, sometimes $100 million properties.
Yeah.
And you'll see some of these unique. I think one of the things that's really cool that you can talk to is like the matchbooking when they do that.
Yeah.
Like talk to someone who doesn't know what matchbooking is. Tell them what they do with that.
So the slabs, basically, they'll take them and cut them, open them up. The cool thing about that is with all of our processes, we Photoshop everything. We take all the pictures of everything. We lay it out with our CAD files. And then once that's done, I mean, we actually send it to you. Our saws and our machinery is about 1/8 of an inch off from our pictures once we send you the file. So we can make everything look exactly like we're sending it to you from our renderings.
Yeah, so for people who don't know what matchbooking is, a lot of times, like what he was saying, is they'll split the stone, so the pattern is duplicated on both sides, and then you'll bring it together. And so, like if you're doing that in a shower or a bath, it looks amazing because it's the same pattern duplicated, but it's a natural stone. So you're like, how did you duplicate a pattern? And
that
it's-
is cool.
Yeah,
They do a lot of that with the prints now, the porcelain
do.
prints
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
quartz prints.
yeah.
So
Not when
you,
it's natural stone, it's kind of
Yeah.
sexy.
so when you do all the measurements and then you take it back to the computer program and you have these huge machines that have to cut this stuff. I mean, because you're not like the old days with a saw. You're doing it with huge machines nowadays, right? You like they cut it with water or
Well, we run all Sasso machinery, so we have two Sasso saws, the M1s we run. It's all digital, all CAD programmed, so definitely a big change from the old days where I'd stand there with two knobs and be covered in dirt all day. Now
And a hose.
Now the guys are in the office, they'll write the programs, send them out, and stand back, and basically all the sinkholes are cut and your radius is done. I mean, pull it off the saw, and the guys get right to gluing up and prepping, polishing, and getting ready for install.
That's awesome.
wow.
So when you sit down and as a homeowner that's looking to remodel, and the reality of many remodels for people is they don't know from a budget perspective and a look perspective. Like there's a lot of variables that the first time someone does a remodel is overwhelming. How do you go through that process to help people navigate managing a budget and getting the look that they want?
I try to fill out, what are their tastes and what are their wants, and then at least put them in the right direction so they don't get a sticker shock when they walk into some of these suppliers. 'Cause sometimes you'll walk in there and you love a slab's, $5,000-8,000, and they're thinking that's all they had for their whole budget, and they need 3 of those. Now we have a whole problem. So I try to keep them in realistic goals that they can accomplish. That way they're happy. When I leave, I want to make sure they're happy. And if they're happy, they're going to recommend my company and my team stays work. And that's, I always have that on my chest, having 10 guys behind me. They have to have work every day. So
That's right, man.
those things that I guess any business owner is always stressed about or nervous.
Yeah. So how do you go, starting a business and getting it off the ground? How did you get yourself off and running when you launched it? And what do you do to maintain your visibility, reach new clients as well as, form new relationships, and obviously keep getting referral business, I'm sure, from past clients and relationships?
Starting off there was no business plan. It was just go to work.
Yeah.
Working for free, keeping my guys paid and going to work every day. I've never really had a business plan. I've been asked. I realistically still don't have one. It's, we got very good word of mouth where the reputation of the company is really good in my opinion. We always have those people that were not satisfied, but I think that's part of the trade. Your team they're humans. They're going to make mistakes. Things are going to go wrong. Customers are going to get upset, and sometimes you can't please everyone. I do my best. We've never left anything that's not looking great. Maybe it didn't get accomplished in the way they wanted, but we did our best.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we still have 10 guys working every day, and for a medium-sized shop, that's really good.
It's huge, man. Absolutely.
Do you go ahead?
Go.
Oh no, I was just going to ask you. Do you leverage social media at all?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page. I do, and then I do an Instagram page. I'm not really good at that stuff, so I'd give it about a 2.5 out of a 10. You know, as far as business, bringing business in. But I try to get as much out as I can on that stuff.
So the majority comes just from word of mouth.
Word of mouth, yes. We're very, yeah.
Okay.
Word of mouth. That's the reality of it. It's pretty much word of mouth. We get recommended a lot, and like I tell my team, if we're getting recommended, the job is 90% sold. We just have to do our part now, make sure everybody's happy to get that next recommendation.
Absolutely.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I had reached out to you. I've known your work. We've worked together, been friends, and that's one of the reasons why I reached out to you about our Give Value program, to get involved with us, to be part of one of our vendors. That we will be talking to our databases about and our realtor partners. And so that's one of the things that I think is going to be very helpful for you and your business.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. I'm constantly sending my guys to training. If they have trainings, I'll shut the shop down, get my guys to training. I mean, I've flown them we've been to Utah, we've been to Montana, take them out to these training classes. I always try to stay up on the latest and greatest stuff that keeps my business a step above the rest around us.
Yeah.
That's huge. Absolutely.
So from a small job to large, what's the largest job you've ever done? Because I know you've done some big commercial, some hotels and things.
Yeah. The biggest one we finished last year was 200 slabs, one house, 3 stories. We were there
200
over
slabs.
A year. Yeah.
Wow.
That's wild.
It was so exciting the first 6 months. The last 6 months, was like, we gotta get out of this house, man. It was,
Yeah.
It drained on you. But it was everything you could imagine as somebody with not $1 million, $1 billion.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
What do you use 200? How big of a damn house?
Yeah, how big?
It was 18,000 square foot, 3 stories.
That sounds like a home up in El Dorado Hills to me.
Yeah.
Locally, yeah.
It was down in the Napa area. I got one of those. I can't talk about the people, but
Yeah.
it
Non-disclosure.
was definitely. I mean, the showers were 15, 20 slabs each.
Wow.
It was disgustingly big and beautiful.
Yeah.
One of the best things we ever were part of. But yeah,
That's
Wow.
wild.
And I know that there was a hotel that you did over in Napa.
yes. The winery. I forgot the name of it.
It's the one right there as you turn and head towards Napa off of.
It's right there on the left.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it
Can't think
either.
of the name anymore either.
Let's go look. Let's go on a field trip. Come on, guys. We'll find it. Let's find it.
We actually stayed there one time, and I called you and said, "Hey, man, I'm looking at your lobby." Yeah, it was amazing. So you guys can handle anything from huge to small, like a boat.
That's what I was just gonna say. So on the reverse, like, what's the smallest type of job that you would take?
I'm a go-getter, so if someone comes in, hey, can you do a 2x2 vanity? I treat that customer the same as I treat my big customer. We got plenty of leftover remnants. I usually will give that stuff for free because it's just sitting out in the yard. Let my guys do it. It's a little bonus to them. Keeps everybody attracted to the job, and a little bit extra money for everyone.
I like that. I like that mindset. That's a good mindset.
Too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of tile companies out there. What would you say separates yours from all the rest? Why choose your company?
Because I've actually been on the ground. I know a lot of the companies now. I mean, there's some really good companies out there that are very comparable, but overall right now, the stuff I'm seeing, it's like a lot of desk guys telling field guys what to do. And in my opinion, that's just not a good thing. It's like I could talk my guys through any problems or any issues or something that comes up and get them on the right track. And if not, I have to put on my work clothes and I go out and get in the field with them, which doesn't happen a lot. They make fun of me and say, you haven't been out with us in years, so can you just get back off the job site?
Wow, I've heard that before.
That's what my kids say every time I get in the middle of their world. Like, come on, just get out of here, Dad. Yeah.
No, but that is important. Like, as a leader, if you've done all the jobs, started from the bottom and worked your way up, that's so impactful when you're leading a company.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I definitely learned old school hand fabrication. I don't know how my skills are anymore because it's, something you lose over time, but I could probably rustle through if I had to try.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you mentioned earlier, I mean, technology's changed everything for every industry in various ways, but, just your description of how slabs get cut and the process of it, it's crazy to think about, what the skill set requires to do that versus the manual component previously.
Correct.
And, the accuracy, making the decision to go that route. I mean, like in any business, you've got to invest in the tool, the equipment,
Yeah.
the machines to take care of it, and then learning to operate those and input it is its own challenge, right?
That is a super challenge. That is actually a great story because I went to a stone show out in Reno, and I'm watching this machine. This guy is watching a machine run, and I'm like, who's running that machine? And I'm looking over, and it's going by itself, and I've never seen that before. Well, the sales rep comes up to me, my very good friend now, Mark Lazon, and he's like, "You want one?" And I'm like, "Bro, I just filed bankruptcy. Ain't no way you're going to sell me a machine like that." We kind of BS a little bit. Leave the show, no big deal. He calls me 5 or 6 months later, says, "Hey, your saw's on port." And I'm like, "Bro, I don't have." That saw was $150. And I'm like,
Wow.
I don't have $150,000, and no one's going to finance me. He's like, "The Italians are going to finance you. Don't miss a payment." I'm like, ah. I was so petrified. I'm like, I had this big thing in my head where like I was taking a loan from the mob.
Yeah.
Not understanding, but within 2 years, man, I bought another saw. It was like that was the total investment that changed my whole business was, an opportunity. I capitalized on it, and then we just ran from there. I mean, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 automated saws in there with all the machinery, and it's, I walk through and I'm like, this is a great day. Look at everybody running, and my cup of coffee and my flip-flops, and it has changed. The game has changed.
Wow.
That's interesting. With most successful business, there's always like a point where they had to take huge risk.
Yeah.
Right? I hear that every time. So that was your huge risk. 150,000. Here we go. And look what happened. So I think that's an important point to point out.
Sleeping worrying about your kneecaps in the morning?
I was when the owner called me, his name's Mario. He called me and he's like, "Steve." I'm like, "Oh no, kill me." "Did you miss your payment?" I'm like, "No, I didn't miss any payments. They're all made. I swear." I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that's
But it was a good man. They really took care of me. They still take care of me to this day.
That's awesome.
I always feel like I'm a billionaire when I want a new machine. I'm like, "Hey, can you send it?" And they're like, "We'll get the loan going." I'm like, "Great. I'll see you later."
That's great.
Well, I remember several conversations we had over the years about all of that and your fears and it's been amazing to watch, this whole thing, work out for you.
Yeah, no.
And your family.
It's been a great journey.
Yeah.
Long journey, but good journey.
So you always see on Facebook, and you're watching reels, and you have the epic fails, like the guy that's got the glass door and he's walking into the house and almost gets it in and the glass just shatters. Have you had any wild things like that? Like you get this big slab and you're almost there and it just like falls apart.
That is part of the industry. That is I probably could have bought 2 or 3 Ferraris right now from the mistakes that get made.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
A half inch cost me $2,000 to $5,000. Wow. 90% of the time it's my fault because I'm the one measuring, so I can't really yell at the guys. I go outside and I'm just like, just don't talk to me. Give me 10 minutes just to suck this in.
So you're saying that there's been cuts where they get in there and it's like too short.
They'll call and be like, "It's at the end. There's no overhang." And I'm like, "What do you mean there's no overhang?" And I get on my computer and I remember I took a call as I'm talking and I'm typing, and there that one I just totally spaced out. But things have broken. We've had walls separate. We've separated full islands. I mean, the repair skills of my guys and me are, to me, second to none. Mm-hmm. We have broken whole slabs. Homeowner leaves, put some glue, put it back together. We'll polish it all out. Come in, they're like, "Oh, it looks beautiful." I'm like, "God, thank you."
Yeah.
The stress of that, but no one knows we're there, and that's the great thing about natural stone is it can be repaired and it can be made to look brand new without a blink of an eye.
Without the seams and the
Yeah. Quartz material, you're not getting that. Porcelain, you're not getting that. Natural stone can be repaired all day long.
Do you have a preference on stone? Just like one that you would
Love.
recommend, or one that
I am
you
a
like?
marble guy.
Yeah, I mean,
my
yeah.
wife is a quartzite girl, so
Yeah.
I wanted marble in the kitchen. She got quartzite.
sounds about right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, yeah. I know his wife. He doesn't mess with her. Smart. Yeah. Painful
No,
process.
smart man.
Yeah.
Look, he handled things with the Italians just fine. As a resident Italian, I get it. So well done. He's kept his wife happy. He's a smart man. What
Yes.
are you talking about?
Yeah, yep. Doing really good. Yeah, I couldn't imagine, especially, of course, the earthquakes have been in the news lately, and I couldn't imagine you're on a job site or something, and an earthquake hits, and a countertop just goes.
Yeah.
And you're going, oh my God, I'm not done with this yet. And, that just seems like that would happen a lot.
Not a lot. I mean, it does happen. It's like I said, it's part of the trade. We have stuff that we get off the machinery. The guys process it perfect. We start to care, and it'll open up on a natural fissure, and then that part is done. You got to start over. Hopefully you can get a matcher. Otherwise, you're buying not just one, you're buying 4 pieces to match or 2 pieces to match, whatever it is. But you have to find a match. Really long contract that covers that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Imagine.
Wow.
What do you think when you assess the industry as a whole? I mean, I think anybody who's been around has talked to people who've had really bad experiences with companies in contracting and remodeling, and then phenomenal experiences. What do you think is the kind of differentiating component in terms of mindset and service that really sets apart the people that get rave reviews and have raving customers, and those that sometimes just drop the ball and create those conversations that we all have had where it didn't go well?
This is a great pro tip. Don't hire unlicensed contractors because you have no recourse. I mean, we get calls. I will bid jobs. They'll call me a month later, say, hey, can you come and look at it? We want the cheaper guy. And I walk in, I take pictures, and I'm like, no, I can't help you. I can remove it. But a lot of younger tradesmen, they get a year or 2 experience, and they're like, I could do this by myself, not realizing the totality, what goes wrong when things go wrong, So, you flood people's houses out, you cut through pipes, because we're still using all the saws and drills. And if those guys aren't licensed, they're not insured, everybody's in a problem. And the homeowner actually has no recourse to go back. So the guys that are licensed, I've cut through pipes, we've cut through wiring, insurances cover it, people are happy. But that's what gives us the better review, is because, yes, we upset you, yes, we ruined your day, or yes, we ruined that, but how did we fix it? How did we reconcile this situation, make it to where you're happy, we got paid, and we moved on from a totally disastrous moment in their time, because when you're in people's home, you're disrupting their lifestyle. Their kitchens are pulled apart, their bathrooms are pulled apart, wives aren't cooking, husbands aren't eating, kids are mad, it's, you don't realize that until your kitchen and one bathroom is gone and you're all living out of one powder bath. Things change as far as the family attitude really fast.
You're speaking to me. I'm gonna send this clip to my wife because she's been bugging us to redo our primary bathroom. And I'm like, I don't want to live in a construction zone. Like, I want it to be like done quick.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, we should do it. We'll just cut a hole in the wall and we'll start it. And I'm like, no, because it's good. That's 8 months. That weekend that weekend project will be the hardest 8 months of my life.
Yeah. Those are the worst.
Yeah, exactly.
Our kitchen remodel was supposed to be 2 months. General contractor designing dreams. They did a great job. But when we opened it up, there was wood rot, wiring, stuff nobody foreseen. All my plumbing was rotted. So that just took everything out to a whole nother level. And then we were, I think, 6 months. But no fault of theirs. It's just the house was old. We didn't see it.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think a lot of homeowners don't understand and anticipate if they've not done a remodel yet, that you don't actually know until you open up the walls, or
Correct.
you don't actually know what's behind there or what's happened, and a lot of stuff can be hidden.
Yeah.
How often would you say does that happen to you guys? And I assume you kind of know based on the age of the home the likelihood of there being some surprises versus, say, the newer homes, and what kind of surprises do you find, say in a newer home, for example, as well?
Newer homes aren't that bad. The older homes, you honestly never know. Everything seems secure because of float or cabinets, and once you pull off the tops, everything is rotted from years of just one little water drip get behind. Nobody noticed, and then you're in a world of hurt because things got to be torn apart and everything stops. And then your 7-day remodel turns into more contractors. How are we going to attack this problem?
To me, that's an important piece in who you start with, and picking the company, because when that happens, that's like you said, having someone who understands service and is going to stick through the project instead of it going like a snowball downhill, down the drain. So, do you have some stories that of remodels that jump out, like to his point of like stuff breaking, or favorites that without sharing client information of things that went haywire, or really memorable experiences where you look back and chart those?
Yeah, I was doing a home out in Sutter Creek, and I was upstairs doing a bathroom remodel when I thought I was going to be a full contractor, and I had a jigsaw and I'm cutting through the sheetrock. I hit an old rusty galvanized pipe, blew. Homeowner's not there, and I'm running through the house. Could not find the main. So by that time I got downstairs, the water's dumping through the ceiling.
Oh no.
By the time she gets home, we shut the main off. The main doesn't shut all the way off, so I'm turning on all the hoses in the lower floor to let the water stop coming from upstairs. And yeah, she was really mad.
That was a bad day.
That was a bad day. And we were out in Sutter Creek, and this was probably 15 years ago, so I didn't have a cell phone. I couldn't get a hold of her. I had to wait. I'm paging her, and I'm like, what am I going to do right now? This is bad. This is really bad.
Oh, my goodness. What's the lead time for a project? So if somebody wanted to get a kitchen remodel or a bathroom remodel, what are we looking at for a lead time?
Right now, we're about 30 days out, so I try to tell my customers, if we get into the contract, do we have material? Do we have sinks? Do we have tile? Do we have anything that we need on that job site? I particularly won't start a job unless I know everything is in place before we even start to take anything apart, because we've torn them apart and they're sitting there for 2 months waiting on a sink that's backwatered, and or my guys broke your slab. Now we're really sitting. There's just things happen that are sometimes you can't control.
Okay.
But everything's fixable, right?
Everything is fixable.
Everything's fixable.
There's always
and
a
everyone
solution.
forgets that. Everything can be fixed.
Yeah. I didn't learn that till about 2 years ago. There's a solution to everything. It's not the end of the world.
That's right. There's always a solution. A lot of times it's fixed with money, but
yeah, I've given away a few free jobs. I felt like customer was happy, but we didn't perform to how we were supposed to perform. Do I like to do that? But sometimes people need to understand the headache of you being in their home and disrupting their life means something to them, and everybody's happy with the financial gain at that moment. So I've eaten a few, but I think it's then get recommendations from them to their friends, which has proven my point about just make sure they're happy when we leave.
Yeah, customer service is everything.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of listeners out there that work under somebody in the trades, and they're thinking they want to go out on their own and start their own company. When did you know it was the right time, and how did you take that jump? Like when you're like, I'm done working for you and I'm doing this. When did that happen, and how?
Well, I've always been in the trade, so it was one of those things where I knew I could go knock down a kitchen and Friday night, fab it up Saturday, put it in on Sunday, and I had, $5,000 in my pocket. I'm like, this is great. While I did my other job, so I always had extra, I call it cream on top of my cake, because I never worried about anything. Once it got to a point where I needed my license, we started getting into bigger projects. I met a guy, I went to his house, and I'm doing the bid, and he's like, where's your license? I'm like, well, I don't have one. He's like, well, you're a effing scab. And that really sat with me. Then I wanted to make the change. I wanted to get my license. I wanted to push forward. And that was about 98, 99 when I started thinking about a license. I got into a few other adventures in my life, and then back to the trades.
Okay.
But it can all be, my opinion is, if you want it, go get it. But, you got to work under somebody who can teach you everything. from the financial side to the finished construction side. Because if you try to go in there halfway, nowadays with the licensing and all the insurances, there's a lot to learn, and it's expensive.
Yeah. I think, they forget about that part, especially in California.
Expensive fines.
Yes.
You get caught out there without
Yes.
licenses or insurances.
So are there permits that are required to, let's say that I called you and says, hey, Steve, we want to put new countertops on our kitchen, and you come in. Are there permits required to do something like that?
Technically, yes. In Sacramento, I'm 100% sure you're supposed to permit everything. Do a lot of customers do it? No.
So it might be different in El Dorado or Placer County or Yolo County than Sacramento?
No. It's
No,
pretty much
so it's
about
pretty
the
much
same.
state,
Yeah.
we should be going in. Now, who typically handles that process? So her question, lead time, you're talking to someone, you say, we're 30 days out. Let's get everything set up. Make sure your sink is ordered. Make sure. Who handles the getting the permits?
Most of the time, the general contractors. I don't do that side anymore. I strictly stay to the countertop side. So if it's all permitted, we're 98% working behind a general contractor or designer. So they usually set everything up. And those timelines, I honestly don't know, because I get the call, hey, we're ready for template in 2 weeks. So we work probably behind 150 different designers or contractors that we're just kind of following around. So that's what kind of keeps our lead generation going. We don't really look for a lot of work. We get a lot of 20% off my little website, some of the little stuff I do on the internet, but otherwise it's from somebody else.
Right
when you're building relationships and deciding, who to work with, do you have any decision making processes around which GCs you'll work with, people, when you're on a project where, you're concerned about whether or not the project's going to go well? Do you have any concerns around that, or do you basically focus on bringing them in and trust the license behind it as your primary? I mean, I'm just going to speak to, not all GCs are created equal, obviously. So just curious on that, when you're forming those relationships and you're involved in a project, is there any thought process around it?
No, usually we don't really actually get to understand the GC until we're mid-flow. And then if that doesn't work out, it turns into this guy doesn't give me a black and white idea of what he needs and what he wants or his expectations, and he just keeps moving the goal line. I tend to shy away from those. Most of my GCs and designers are pretty straightforward. I ask them out of the gate, what is it you need? What is it you want? And can my team accomplish that? Because I don't like my guys calling all stressed out, running around like their chickens, their heads cut off. So everything I try to, the best I can, find out what is it that you want. What are your requirements, and can we meet your goals with realistic goals? But anything can be had with the price. So
A lot of solutions can be fixed with money. I know.
I tell people that, and they look at me like, I was like, we can do whatever you want, however you want, but there's a number. I try to pay my guys well, because you got to have team members that want to come to work for you. If you're paying your guys $20 an hour, their interest is all fed by their pocketbook, and that's my interest is fed by my pocketbook when I work for contractors or homeowners. So it's kind of one of those things. We all have to feed each other equally. They have to feel like they're wanted and they're needed. And the homeowners have to respect that too. It's like, my guys are getting paid great for the industry, and if you can't respect that, then I don't need to have my guys there.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that's value is something that comes down to what are you putting your priorities on, right? And I think that's a kind of brings the question. I think for homeowners that are considering their remodels and doing that, budgets are always a priority for the majority of the homeowners. And probably first question most people would answer is they want it to be as inexpensive as possible. But where do you see homeowners cut corners that end up hurting them, and where do you think the best investment is for both experience and like return of value.
A lot of customers still try to push the who's the lowest bidder, and I try to explain to them there's reasons why I'm more expensive. There's reasons why, the product I'm giving you, because it starts from glues to how we're adhering your material. That some guys will use $20 quart of epoxy that's going to fall apart in a year. We try to use the better of all the products that are required for that application. So when I look at a home and I ask them, what are you trying to accomplish? And then I try to put myself in their shoes. What are they looking for as aesthetics go in their house? What is the look they're looking for? And then I try to push them in the direction of that. I know they can afford it, and I know they're going to be happy, and I know they're going to be satisfied several years down the road. I don't walk into your home. So when you walk in your kitchen, I want you to be like, I love it still, not guy settled. Don't settle for something you actually didn't want just because it's going to get the moment done. I don't like those jobs, so I will walk away from most of those. Because you can't make them happy. But I also can find great deals out there. I know all the suppliers. We use multiple suppliers, so I can call and say, hey, can you get this for a better deal? And all of my suppliers actually will work really well with me for my customers. On some of the material, we get up to 30% off. So that's huge savings that put some people in a category they might not have been able to afford on their own.
That's huge. That's absolutely huge. So I'm going to fire over to you a little pivot on our social media tip of the week here.
Oh, yeah. Social media. I'm going to talk to you about this. I think it's kind of twofold. People need to be not so concerned with their follower count as more as engagement. And remember, every person typically has an average of 200 contacts in their database, right? So if you have one follower, they have 200 friends. So that's why social media is so impactful. But if you are concerned with your follower count, the best method you can do is, in your case, look at the top performing videos. Just go to your search bar, top performing videos on tile and bathroom, kitchen restoration or whatever. Look at those videos that typically get 1 million, 2 million views, and just copy it with your style. That's all you got to do, because we know that talk track worked and we know that the format worked. And so typically you can just copy that in your personality. And that's how you get to those minimums that you need sometimes to be pushed out even more. So,
Julie, does that work on just TikTok, or does that work on?
That works on all of them.
Okay.
Yes. Facebook, Meta, Instagram, TikTok. Yep. Look at your top performing videos and duplicate them.
So, but in the search bar, you have to, he would have to say stone and tile work.
Correct.
And it would then
pull up the top videos.
Then it would pull up the top videos.
Yep.
And then as he looks at those, he says, that's a great idea. This is a great idea. And then you go out and you just duplicate it.
Exactly.
With your own camera, but the same subject, same talk track, everything.
Everything. And if you can make it shorter, it's even better than what they did. But kind of take the whole gist of it, and definitely pick the videos that resonate with you. You know what I mean? Just don't pick them because they're top. Like, you're like, okay, I like that one. I can identify with that one. So for you, like mortgage, like interest rate, should I buy a home now or whatever? What are the top videos on that topic? And then copy them. Yeah.
That's good advice.
Pro tip.
What do you think? I was going to say, what do you think about my algorithm now? I've been getting a lot more of these like POVs, right? So the meta glasses, I've noticed, I don't know if it's just whatever that I'm watching those videos and then it's duplicating, but I've noticed a big influx of the meta glasses being a lot of the videos.
Well, yeah, because it's visually stimulating, right? Because it is authentic. They're looking at, so it's kind of a shortcut. And if you can take some of that and make it into a video, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
But again, I still think the authentic, especially with AI coming in, the real authentic videos are the ones that are still hitting and getting pushed out. So
yeah, those points you just made too. I always find it interesting when you do run across a video that's gone viral that you like, and if you end up searching to try to go find it again, in those scenarios when I've done that, I'm like, look at all the copycat versions of it, and a lot of times it'll actually take longer to find that video than I was thinking. It was a quick search, and it's like, well, there's 50 different versions of that same one now. And I'm sure that to your point, that that strategy works. I mean, that's how you end up, getting there. Does, when we start talking social, what I think is pretty cool about your industry, like I was telling you before, I jumped on the LinkedIn and looked, and it's just videos of finished projects that are scrolling through, and I'm like, that's a really great way to kind of say it all. Is here's the finished product, and here's what it looks like. What's the process you guys do for that when you're done with the project? Is that what you do for the customer? Is that what you do where you have a system to, hey, we're going to video and take photos of the final product and then turn it into the post from there? Or what's the standard process for completing a project?
So yeah, their standard completion project is that they take a dozen pictures, couple videos. I like them to get really close to the edge work, make sure all of the sealing is done, there's no epoxy left or no residue on it, because you'll be surprised. I get a call back 30 days later and the customer's like, look at this chip you guys left. And then I pull up the video, and this has actually worked the last year, and I'm like, you see this really close up video and the picture, there's no chips in that countertop, but we can come out for a fee and repair your stuff. So the final videos and stuff is more so for us, to CYA, the team, and their work quality, because they have a bonus pay. If things are getting done right and you're in and out, there's a bonus pay. But I don't want to go back to that job. I don't want to show back up. And I tell people, we will come back if we're going to have a party, but I don't want to come back to work on your house. I don't have time for that. But otherwise, I've never been invited back for a party, so I don't want to come back.
Well, that's not true. You've been to my house for parties.
Yeah, you were on the boating team. It's a little different.
So I was going to ask you, and we've argued about this a little bit, not really argued, but discussed it. For social media, what's the length of a video? What's the optimum length? Because you said make them shorter if you can. So
the max you should typically shoot for, the max, is 1.5 minutes, because then you can put it on.
Oops.
Well, 1.5 minutes, you can put it on, Instagram and TikTok, right? But if you're trying to build a follower count, you want shorter, because remember, TikTok works like a funnel. When you hit a certain amount of views, it pushes you out to a bigger audience, like 20,000 to 50,000. But to get there, they have to have how many people viewed your video from start to finish. So if you have an 8-second video, how many people are going to watch its entirety? Yeah. It's going to have completed views for so long, it's going to push it up. So make sure you put your sweet spot, or your, whatever they're trying to figure out, at the end of the video. So they have to watch it to get to the end. That's what you want, because it doesn't count as a view unless it's watched in its entirety. So
and you see this a lot, where like a little caption will go, watch to the end to see something. And then you go, oh, well, now I have to watch. And then you get to the end and you're going,
wait, I didn't see
what the hell? So you watch it again because you think you missed it.
Yes. And so a little pro tip. So like on my exercise videos, I'll do the exercises, but I'll put the reps and how much weight you should do at the very end. So it just flashes at the end, and like, oh, I didn't see it. So they got to watch it all over again, right? So that is another pro tip.
Does that count as just more views of the video?
Yeah.
It's not that they're the
keeps
repeating.
Looping back.
If they keep looping back, that's another view, another view, another view, another view. Yeah.
Okay.
So shorter.
And that's what they do. They'll have a bunch of text.
Yes.
And you start reading, and I'm a slow reader, but I get about a quarter down the page, and it's done. And I'm going, son of a... and I watch it again, and I try to just get the next. And then, so sometimes I'll watch the damn thing.
They're getting 8 views from Buzz.
Yes, right? I mean,
there is a thing called pause.
Yeah.
Well,
but a lot of people don't know that pause trick, and so they do what he does, and then they'll go watch it again. But just an over-screen picture, even if you did this, if you just did a picture of one of your finished products, and then you just put a tip over it on text on screen, but made it short, so they're like, wait, what? And they keep watching it, it's going to really escalate your exposure. Yeah.
So another thing that I see a lot is the videos that you typically watch are, and we'll go down a rabbit hole, but taking an old car and making it into a really cool vehicle with paint job and everything.
That's my algorithm.
Or you're watching something that everybody likes like homes, before and after pictures.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, that seems like that would be good in his case of like
Amazing.
before kitchen, after
After
kitchen.
kitchen.
You
Yeah,
know,
and-
or broken, big stain on a countertop and boom, it's gone because you guys came in and buffed it out or whatever you guys do.
Yeah.
So it seems like those would be some
Those
really
would be
cool
impactful,
ideas.
and you could do those in under 15 seconds, maybe even 10 if you had a good editor. Yeah.
Look at this, man. We're gonna get you some more business.
We're going to get you another editor. We're going to have to hire you an editor. It's so interesting though that the way that people do it, and I'm a sucker now for rescue dogs and cats and
Oh, yeah, those
places
are
like
great
that.
stories.
And they'll show this dog and it says, please watch to the end so that I can feed these dogs. And you're going, oh my God, I'm just going to leave it on, let it keep going all night.
You sent that to me.
So yeah, I set it on the bedstand at night and say, yeah, just watch it all night. It'll keep going. But so that's what they're doing. They're getting their
Absolutely.
views up.
And then when you get a certain amount of followers, you get paid per view. You get
Yeah.
you monetize. So you definitely want to put the sweet spot at the end and the curiosity loop at the end, right? Curiosity. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before,
And after.
I like
before,
that.
after. Yeah.
Speaking of which, before after, why don't we get our mortgage update? Mr.
Oh, let's talk about oil.
Oil.
Gas.
It it's been a crazy last few weeks. But this week, and I always like to start with this. We're ending the week in a better spot with interest rates than what we started. The whole news this week has been all about, of course, the new deal with Iran signing, the at least the understanding that they're working towards an agreement, which, is weird wording. But so oil prices have plummeted. This morning we were under $68 a barrel, which, just for some contrast, just for, to look at it, you have to go back to January of this year to get oil prices at $68 a barrel. Matter of fact, when the Iran conflict started, we were sitting at, I believe, right at $70 a barrel. So we're actually lower by 2% right now, almost 3% than what it was before, the Iran conflict started. Which, again, if you think about this, there's two things that drive inflation. I mean, and inflation is what we're all worried about, and why interest rates go up. Two things. One is the cost of oil right now. Transportation, let's put it that way. Delivering goods and services to the grocery store, going on vacation, all of those things. The cost of oil drives the cost of everything up. The second is employment numbers. Now, we've been seeing all employment is sky high. In a normal market, we would see interest rates, going up anyway. But right now, it's been all about the oil on top of employment driving the cost of goods and services up even higher. So with oil prices coming down, everybody's kind of breathing this sigh of relief because that's going to change the inflation numbers. So in a market that, quite frankly, I feel like we probably should be at these interest rates because of employment numbers and all of that kind of stuff, we're starting to see the interest rates go back down. So how far they go, we're not sure. We almost lost the deal with Iran. Had a drone strike on another oil tanker or another ship. I don't know if it was an oil tanker. So that almost screwed the deal up yesterday. But oil prices continue to drop. If you listen to the current administration, they think it should drop even further into the 50s, which would cause a lot of problems that people aren't thinking about, because under $60 a barrel, a lot of the producers will just cap off their wells and not sell it because it's like, okay, my cost of
Sure.
of pumping it out of the ground is more than, so there's a lot of different variations,
Yeah.
but the sweet spot is going to be
We're about in the sweet spot.
yeah,
about
the
that.
sweet spot's going to be 60 to 65.
Yeah.
And where they'll stay open, they're making enough money, cost of goods and services. So it's a crapshoot right now. The ships are continuing to exit the strait. And so it's been all about oil, regardless of all the other economic news, which is kind of weird. So
when the consumer hasn't quite, that we're in another situation too, where the consumer hasn't seen the benefit of the lower oil prices.
I was just going to
Yeah.
say that it has not passed through.
Well, and Trump has started making comments about this,
I think he
and
made one
I even wrote about it earlier this week. I said, it's amazing when oil prices go up. I mean, the day that happens, the prices at the gas pump goes up, and you're going, that gas has been in the ground,
Yeah.
in that container beneath that pump for months, and you're going to raise the prices on me. Well, when price of oil goes down, it takes months and months and months from supply, and it's kind of a scam. And Trump was mentioning that this week and kind of calling out Shell and BP and all these big oil companies about what's the story here. Well, why is it so fast on the uptick and so slow on the downtick? So that's going to be a bigger story as more people go, yeah, how come? So we'll see how that rolls out.
Yeah.
So right now, this morning when we walked in here, we had a nice little tiny rally, continuing for the week, which has been pretty steady.
That's right.
It's pretty steady.
You said my favorite sentence was ending the week better than we started.
Ending the week better than we
I like
started.
it.
Yeah. So I'm telling Lonas, because they're asking, I'm going, hey, if you've got it, lock it right now. I mean, this is no telling what kind of corrections we'll see.
Yeah. I agree with
We've
that.
got a
100%.
3-day weekend coming up next week with July 4th. And you always see, almost always in normal markets, you almost always see interest rates kind of tick up as people take their money out of the market, for the long weekend and close early. And so the market kind of ticks up anyway. And
it's a unique, the federal holiday falls on that Friday. So it's not it's not a normal.
It's not a
so
normal.
The market will be closed on the 3rd.
On the 3rd instead of a Monday.
Yeah. So it's going to be a weird. It's going to be a different week next week.
I think it's going to be a volatile week.
I agree.
I think this rally continues. If nothing else happens over the weekend, the way that oil prices have been, dropping, I think that we see a Monday and Tuesday maybe continue this. But as we get towards the end of the week, just the trend itself needs a correction to keep everybody honest.
You know
So-
what? I don't like it. I'm going to Mexico.
I hear you're going to Mexico.
I'm out. That's it. I'm gone. I leave in the morning.
You know what was really bad? It was in Mexico 3 weeks ago, and literally there, of course, what I can't remember the name of the national gas station is Pimbex. I don't know. It was only like $1.75
Wow.
in Mexico.
Wow.
And while, of course, that was 3 weeks ago, we were still here in California paying $6.50.
$800.
And I'm going,
Yeah. Yeah.
But so have fun in Mexico.
Yeah, that's it. I don't like the volatility. That's it. I'm gone.
I'm going to ask you just give value program. We're getting you involved in all of that. We've got events coming up towards the end of the year. Want to make sure that you're, because one of the keys to that is client appreciation. You reaching out to some of your people and saying, hey, we're doing this. Come. You think that would be valuable for your business?
I don't know off the top of my head because I'm not in front of most of my clients. Like I said, we come after the contractor already has made the deals, and they do most of the work. So I don't.
Well, we're gonna
that from them.
we're gonna sit down and kind of explore that, help you build some more of your referrals.
Okay,
Absolutely.
that'd be awesome.
And if customers want to see your work and check it out, what's give them the contact where your website is and where they can connect with you guys.
No, we've got the www.
Yes.
sndcustomstoneandtile.com. Then we're also on Instagram under S&D and Facebook under the business name also.
So it's just S&D
Tile
Custom
and
Stone
Stone?
and Tile.
Custom Stone and Tile.
S&D.
Right on.
S&D Custom Stone and Tile.
That's right.
Julie, you got that radio voice. I like
Yes.
it.
Thank you, Justin.
I like
You grab it and do. I like it.
It's good. That was good. I like it.
Today's episode sponsored by
But it's not.
S&D
It's her
Custom
real
Stone and
voice.
Tile.
Though. It's not. It's not a put on voice. It's
It's
good.
her polished voice.
It's her polished voice. It's a very good one.
Love it. All right. Well, I want to thank you for making the time today, Steve.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, I've been
great.
talking to him for weeks, and trying to schedule it up, and boom, this one worked out. So glad.
Very intimidating.
Great to meet
You
you.
did great. No, it's
Good
good.
to get you out of the
Thank
comfort
guys for your
zone,
time. Thank you guys.
and we know that everyone in the industry and everyone that owns a home has been through this, and so we absolutely appreciate the knowledge and the insight, and
Yeah.
where do we spend most of the time? In the kitchens and the bathrooms.
Yeah,
So
That's it.
definitely.
fantastic. Well, thank you to everybody for today. Julie, thanks again as always for making us all look a whole lot better. Like we
Well,
had planned.
especially you after your night of flights and.
My eyes are open. That's all I can say. That's good.
Hey, here's the one tip: do not travel with him
Okay.
ever, because every time he's in an airport, he gets delayed like 24 hours.
Yeah, that wasn't 24 this time, but I thought the late night flight would work out. I didn't anticipate it getting delayed a couple hours and 3
Yep.
a.m.
Yeah.
3 a.m. getting home. So, but I'm here. So, and
Well.
I stayed awake. That's a win. But thanks again, Steve, and
Thank you.
we will wrap that for the week. Appreciate everybody tuning in. It's been another episode of the Blitz Break here on a Friday. Hope you enjoy your your weekend, and we will see you next week. I'm your host, Phil Rasmussen. Have a great weekend.
Later.
Thank